On June 12, 2004, Kathy Kernahan had what is referred to as a lung resection. Each lung is divided up by lobes. A lobe is a rounded subdivision of a bodily organ. Our right lung is divided into 3 lobes, and our slightly smaller left lung is divided into 2 lobes. In Kathy's case, part of the upper lobe in her right lung was removed.
At this time, we do not feel that she needs adjuvant chemotherapy. The primary lesion, because it was detected by this CT scanning process, was very small. And chemotherapy has not been shown to benefit patients with very early and very small lung cancers that have been resected. In fact, patients are cured frequently by the surgery alone, and they do not need to have the addition of what potentially can be a toxic therapy.
The purpose of chemotherapy is to remove any cancer cells that may have spread from where the cancer started to another part of the body. Chemotherapies are medicines given by pill or directly into the bloodstream through a needle or port that destroys cancer cells. Chemotherapy works by interfering with the cancer cell's ability to reproduce and function from day to day.
I was very worried about not doing the chemo, much as I didn't want to. I just didn't want to sit back and say, well, I haven't done everything I possibly can. The next appointment, I really begged to do something. Wasn't there something we could do? And every suggestion and question I had, she had an answer for that completely satisfied me. So then I was really relieved because I believed what she had to say and I didn't have to do chemo.
Many of the patients that I see, I'm having to tell them about a treatment that's focusing on helping them to live a little bit longer or helping to improve their symptoms, whereas with Kathy, our focus was entirely different. She had a very small cancer. We were sending her for surgery. We felt that this cancer could and should be cured, and so our total approach was different, with a much more impressive or important goal, we should say, of cure rather than just palliation.
Kathy, her tumor, when it was finally seen under the microscope, was about 1.2 centimeters, so it's a very, very small tumor. The surrounding lung was totally normal. It had already been established that the lymph nodes were not involved. And she's coming back every couple of months for a CAT scan, and I'm sure there's no way that this tumor would have been seen on a chest radiograph. It was a very faint nodule. We call it a so-called ground glass opacity because it's not very solid, and it's just impossible to see these on a chest radiograph. Of course, she didn't have any symptoms and there's nothing else available. So no, other than with a CAT scan, this tumor could not have been detected.
I said, I wish it hadn't, with Heidi, I remember saying, I wish it hadn't been me. On the other hand, I'm happy for your study that this is working. So, and I remember thanking her as I left, which was absolute rote. I wasn't really all that thankful.
In December 2005, the 1,000th participant was tested in the early lung cancer screening study at UHN's Princess Margaret Hospital. Of the 1,000 tested to date, 19 participants were found to have cancer. 17 of those were diagnosed with lung cancer. Of those 17, 13 were stage 1 cancers, the stage that is potentially curable. One of the 13 cured was Kathy Kernahan. On July 9th, 2004, less than a month after her lung resection, Kathy went swimming.
This is my very first swim.
You're doing well.
My very first
You're doing well.
Here.
Keep going.
I haven't sunk yet.
Keep going.
Obviously, I would say probably this study has saved my life. how much time or not time I had, who knows, but I now feel as if I've got a whole life ahead of me, and this research is fabulous. One of the most wonderful things about this whole experience for me has been both when I found out I had cancer and throughout my surgery and throughout my recovery. I found out I had an incredible support system, and I probably wouldn't have realized that it was that strong and that people were that good. They came up with fun, amazing things that they'd do or gifts that they'd give me. And one friend decided that she was going to send someone to clean my house before I came home from the hospital. I thought, what kind of wonderful thinking is that? You reassess your values. You say, what is important to me? What do I want to do? Or do I want to sit back and worry? And I want to do stuff.
Kathy is making the most out of her life since being cured of her lung cancer. In February 2006, she and her daughter realized a lifelong dream of going on an African safari. Without that initial phone call to Princess Margaret Hospital's early lung cancer screening study, Kathy herself wonders where and what she would be doing today. Thanks to the Lucy Wong Research Fund and University Health Network staff of doctors and medical researchers, finding the answers has become a real possibility. I'm Sheila Walsh. Thanks for watching.
And I certainly knew I was in the best hands, but I was nervous. And then I remember waking up feeling absolutely fine.
Well, it's a whole cascade of events that happens. We want to interrupt the natural course of lung cancer. Natural course being it becomes symptomatic when it's advanced and it's not curable anymore.
Whereas with Kathy, the discussion centers on curing the cancer, taking it out, because we found it at a very early stage.
All this color all over my room, honey. It was so cheery when I came home.
Yeah, but look at how many people sent you a word. That's a lot of people that were thinking about you in that time.